Welcome to the Boston Art Podcast,
Boston's premier art podcast,
where we talk art, culture, and philosophy.
My name is Theodore Earthworms.
And I am Brian Huntress.
Welcome to the show.
All right, we're recording now.
Okay.
All right, so you set up the GPS because we are going...
Oh, it's 8:02. That's my birthday.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I already have the GPS going because I was anxious earlier.
We are going to Mount Auburn Cemetery.
Yeah.
For what?
For solstice.
For solstice of 2023.
It isn't. This is very confusing. Today is not the solstice. I don't know when we're going to release this episode.
I think it's December 21st is the solstice.
I believe that's true for the winter solstice.
But essentially, to celebrate that, they have some type of light installation in the cemetery, and we're going to go see that, and I am so excited.
Yeah. It runs through December, and there's tickets every half an hour. They're $30 a person. So this
so it's a little, you know.
Yeah, I hope it's really good. But I've heard really good things about it. And I saw an Instagram post the other night while I was in bed that said that it was fun. And I, for some reason...
You were like, I need tickets!
It was a crisis that I needed them so bad. And then the next day, I got an email that was like, your tickets are reserved. And I was like, what? What did I buy?
I forget what I bought.
Yeah. I wasn't even drunk or anything. I just do that sometimes. It was like at 8 p.m. and I was like, I need these. Anyway.
Don't you low-key wish we were in bed, just like watching TV and chilling?
Now, yeah, I also really wanted to take a shower tonight, which I'm hopefully still going to do later.
There's only so many hours in a day.
Yeah, we're in the middle of watching Breaking Bad too, and that's been really good. But something that I'm trying to be cognizant of is I think that if I spend too many nights just at home, I get like too comfy, and it makes me not want to leave my house ever again. Like, I have to force myself to overcome the rut of extreme social anxiety or social avoidance by doing random things midweek.
Yeah, I suffer from that a little bit less. We were talking about recently how, yeah, obviously, you were showing me the GPS, and it was an obvious.
You were being...
Obviously, I go to Boston not to...
You might go around and then go back in. That happens sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes you take Canton and go around.
No, not me. Not me. What was I even just going to say?
I don't know.
Oh, we were talking about how... Some idiot. We were talking about how you are a true extrovert and I am a true introvert.
Yeah.
In the sense that you are fueled and invigorated by social interaction. And I am not. I am depleted by it.
Yeah.
I deeply enjoy it, and I'm very social, and I like to have a lot of attention and fun and that type of thing. But it's like, to you it's oxygen. To me, I am on an oxygen tank while doing it, and it's running out.
Yeah. The thing that's so funny about that, though, you came up at work again today because everyone was talking about... I did. Yeah, my coworkers were all talking about how you... I'll tell you the whole story later. I don't want to give too much context, but how you need to be around more because you love talking to everybody, and they want to give you a job.
Hey. Yeah, hey, that'd be crazy, huh?
But yeah, we go to social events, and I'll be the reason we're there, but I'm, like, not speaking. You're talking to fucking everybody. I turn around, you're gone, you're just talking to a stranger, like, up the street.
Let me tell you this, friends of the show. I may not have talked about this, I may have. Theo knows it, everybody who knows me knows. I am a pro at talking to old people.
Yeah.
Old people, I don't know what it is. I don't know. They love me, they appreciate me. I have tons of fun, and I quickly build rapport when I am talking to senior citizens.
Especially old women.
Old women like me, yeah, that's true. Yeah. I don't know. I think it's because I was in AA for so many years with old people that I've learned a lot of the, stupid, archaic idioms that old people use. Like, I know a lot of those, and I have I'm very in tune with the rhythm of old man banter. It's like, oh yeah, hey, oh yeah, I saw, that conversation. Doesn't matter what the fuck it is. I can do that all day.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah, I saw. Oh, whoa. No, yeah.
you're not even
Easy.
saying words, but I know what you mean.
Easy. That's easy. Old
Yeah.
ladies, you just gotta be a very polite grandson. You're just very polite and nice and smile and performatively use manners.
You know what's so weird about that, though? Is
Old
as a
ladies
young
love
woman,
manners.
Being a young woman and doing those same things does not fucking work. My, go-to is just not to talk to old men ever. Like, if I can avoid it, just avoid it. And old women, it's a hit or miss whether or not they just hate you on sight or they were gonna like you anyway.
I'd also like to acknowledge publicly that another thing I'm referring to is just, invisible... it's like a white guy invisibility cloak.
Yeah.
It's just like a magic carpet socially to be me in a lot of ways.
But I feel
So just to put that out there, I definitely think that's true as well.
that's fair, I guess. But I think you also just have that, old lady riz.
Old lady Riz. That's funny because usually when you preface Riz with an archetype, that would mean that the type of Riz an old lady would have.
No.
That's not what we're talking about.
No, it's not.
I have the type of Riz that old ladies love.
Yeah.
Which is, I don't know, circus clown meets Mr. Rogers.
No.
Yeah, that's definitely
I think
not
a
me.
big
That's actually a
bonus
completely false statement.
I think big bonus points for you is that at any given time you're willing to have a really in-depth conversation about US history or religion, which I feel is all that old people ever talk about ever.
Yeah, that's definitely up there, those two subjects for sure. Hey, a bit of a subject change, but I got some great news today.
Okay. What was the news?
So, as friends of the longtime listeners and you will know, I love to collect antique photos.
Yes.
I've been doing it for years. And there's a very specific type of antique photo that I probably have maybe 5 or 6 or 7 of that I always pick up when I find them. I think they're sick. I don't always pick them up, but when it's good, whatever, but when it's right. But it's an antique photo type that has been so elusive to me that I have never been able to research or discover the origins of or learn how they're made or what they're worth or what. I just can't ever find them. And that is because I have mistakenly been calling them the complete wrong name this entire time.
Really?
I've been referring to them as charcoal photo portraits, but I today discovered the official name for them, which is a photo cryotype.
Cryotype?
Or cryotype, like C-R-A-Y-O type.
Cryotype.
And what that is referring to is a type of photography where they would use either some kind of projection or very large-scale photo development in the 1800s, where they would make a large print of a photo extremely light, like virtually no contrast, like a very light silhouette, like a ghost of the picture, and then they would embellish it with charcoal or with crayon or with pastel or other pigments, so that it looked like a real photo. But if you look at it close, you can see that it's actually a fusion of a photo and a drawing.
That's actually so interesting.
Yeah, and I've always been like, I can't find these anywhere. I just have been completely without context, but I know that they're sick and they're from the 50s, so there's some antique value to them.
So now they might be easier to find because you know what they're called.
Now I know what they're actually called, and it's opened up a whole new avenue of researching these.
That's exciting. That's really cool.
Yeah, because they're what they are. It's kind of funny because I was thinking about them today, and I was thinking about the fact that people were making these specific photos actually at the same time that artists like John Singleton Copley and John Singer Sargent were making their portraits in high society of the mid to late 1800s. And I think the reason that there's so many of photo cryotypes is because it was an insanely cheap way to achieve that effect.
Yeah.
And to get a nice ass stately portrait of yourself that would, but without having to pay,
like a world famous muralist or something.
Like a world famous muralist or a high society portrait painter.
Are there people who were well known cryotype artists from the time?
So There's probably like less than 50 famous antique photographers. There's antique the thing is with antique photos is there's a couple different categories, and their worth is hinged on a collection of things. One, there are some famous photographers. That's extremely rare. You will never find a photo by a real famous antique photographer. And even if you do, it might not be worth anything, because the other categories by which they are worthwhile or worth a lot are the subject.
Wait, you just...
I was going to say, just because, even if you did, you won't find an antique photo by a famous shooter. And even if you do, it still might not be worth anything, because there are other categories to consider.
Other categories to consider?
Like who the photo is of.
Oh.
How many copies of it exist. Blah, blah. What else? Also, the type of photo. Like CDVs are the type of Carta de Vista or whatever the fuck. You're going to find those in in a shoebox in every antique mall in the universe.
What are those?
Those are just the little cardstock sepia portraits of people.
Okay.
Those are everywhere. Everybody has them. So if you find one of those that's by a famous studio, it's still not worth shit. It's just cool that you have it.
Yeah.
But if you find a fucking never before seen antique photo of like Abraham Lincoln,
yeah.
Now you have a $9 million picture or something. But
gotcha.
Or there are, like, for example, ambrotypes. Any ambrotype, which is a very old type of antique photo, all of those, you could probably get $100 for a good condition ambrotype. 50. I don't know.
Ambrotype.
Yeah. Or tin types. If you have a large, extremely good condition tin type,
yeah,
and it's of. So here's another thing. It doesn't have to be an important person, important shooter, or even a known person, but it can be a really interesting type of person. Like if you like have a photo, an antique photo of a black person from the 1800s, that's going to be worth way more. Yeah. Even if you have no idea who that is, because it was so rare, because of like obvious, very bad reasons. Or if you had a photo of like a clown from the 1879, that would be very rare.
I would give you so much money.
You would get it, and someone would. Yeah. Or politicians, generals, actors, old vaudeville actors and singers. If you somehow found one of those, that would be insane. So, and here's another thing too. Like you could find a picture of a senator, like the senator or like the mayor of New York City from fucking 1870, and it's like that would be really fucking cool. It might be worth something, but it might really not be, because nobody has any idea who that is.
Yeah.
Like I have no clue who the mayor of New York City was before Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
Or even currently. I'm not even sure who the mayor of New York City is currently. I just know Rudy Giuliani was at one point.
Oh, that's interesting.
Whatever, that's kind of a tangent. But I feel like I unlocked a new type of antique photo that I just kind of idiotically didn't know the name of. And that's why I couldn't research them.
How did you find out what they're called?
I research things, research in air quotes, by Googling the same type of phrase worded slightly differently, like just over and over and over again, and just go back multiple pages.
Yeah.
And just like add on different content until I just found that phrase. What did I say? Photocriotype. And I was just like, literally, what the fuck is that? I've never heard of that in my life. And then I clicked on it and researched that, and I was like, this is literally what I've been trying to research this entire time.
Huh.
Because I've heard them called charcoal photo portraits, carnival portraits. Like, it's like they have a lot of different random things that people call them unofficially, but the real name for them is that.
That's really interesting.
I suppose so. I don't know.
You know what you might do if you wanted to learn more about that too is I know some museums and libraries in Boston have study rooms where you can pull from their art collections. Like the Moore study room at the MFA, you can make an appointment if you email them to pull out certain works from their collection that aren't on view and look at them really close at a study table. And if you get them on a good day, you can talk to somebody who works there, like a curator or something, about those works to learn a little more.
Yeah.
I wonder if they have a collection that you have like the categorical name of what you're looking for.
Is this the exit, by the way?
Yes.
Oh. Yeah, no.
Oh, not so obvious, huh? You need my help and my GPS after all?
All right, Buster. Hey, can you tell me, am I going on Sturo right now?
Yes.
Okay. Blah, blah, blah. What was I just saying? Oh, because you got to think, like, there's like major museums in almost every city, every major city in the country, and in Europe as well. Like, and there's independent curators and official curators doing independent shows and studies and books on fucking anything you could imagine.
Yeah.
Right? Like, the MFA just had a show that was all just old CDVs, literally just old antique photos. So I just find it crazy that I've never, like, there's got to be somebody out there that knows the value and is very studied on these things that I have.
That would be a fun thing to do some research on and do an update with, maybe an interview with someone who's a specialist in that.
Yeah, like, there's got to be some motherfucker working on some, like, ancient tome of a book that nobody's ever going to read, but they've been writing it for, like, 8 years, and they know everything about that type of photography, right?
It's so bleak.
I mean, that person's out there somewhere.
Huh.
And they're definitely working at, you know, like, the fucking, I don't know, like, the Indianapolis Institute of Art or something, right?
Maybe they're not, though. Maybe that could be you. You're already doing research independently.
I mean, yeah. Anyway, I don't know. But, yeah, so if you're out there listening, just kidding. Obviously, that's not the case.
Why not? Maybe. We, I don't think we've talked about this because we were on hiatus, but we got our Spotify for Podcasters Wrapped.
Yeah, dude.
Year. It was fucking crazy. I want to compare. I think we must have shared stats from 2022. But comparing 2022 to 2023, the growth was exponential, and it was insane, actually. Yeah,
shout out to the, 150 people who we were in their top 5?
109 people who we were in their top... I think we were top podcast, period, for 109 people.
That's, like... It's so funny, because compared to the podcasts of the universe, that's not a lot of people at all.
But number 1, though?
But compared, yeah, that's fucking cool as shit.
That's nuts.
That's awesome, man.
That's wild.
So thank you to all of you 109 people. I hope you have a very... Well, maybe we should save all this shit for the end of year episode that we're probably going to do, right?
Oh, yeah, we always do.
But if we don't do that,
Loki.
I hope you people join us in the new year for another 52 episodes.
Loki, I feel like our end of year episode always sucks.
It fucking drags like a motherfucker.
It's really cringe, too, because we get in fights every time, so we're stressed out about time passing.
And unfortunately, I don't feel like we're in a position to fully realize... Like, look, nobody really... Doesn't matter if you really like the person you're reading about. People just generally don't like reading puff pieces. And we have no option when reviewing... Like, we would... Look, just out of pure professionalism in class, I don't think... It would have to be for a really bad reason, like a really good reason, why I would just openly talk shit about someone we've interviewed.
I would never do that. Yeah.
Right. I mean, they would have to be like an awful person or
Even
like
that.
Really fuck us over. But like, I'm just saying, like I would always, like, if we interview somebody and I respect them, even if I have some negative thought or idea or whatever it is,
yeah,
I'm not gonna fucking air that because that's fucked up.
Yeah.
So, but that also makes me feel like I can't really even be honest about my like critical ideas or perspectives or opinions about that person and their work. And the end of year episode is just me and you, is just us being like, oh, and then there was this person and they were awesome. Thank you so much. Well, and that's it. And then it's just like not interesting at all. It's just me generically thanking a person for being on the show.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that we always do that, though. Like, I mean, I think we have in the past done that a little bit, which is not great. I think that's why those episodes feel stale. But I think that normally when we're not self-conscious about doing a recap, we do talk more more intensely about like people's theory behind their work and stuff. Because there's a big difference that I think that we do have a good grip on between like just doing a puff piece and really getting into the meat of what someone's talking about and straight up talking shit. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think I think there's a big gulf between those two coasts.
There is.
And we do a good job of that, I think, most of the time. But with the end of year thing, it's just not been great. I think another thing too, this is going to be our third one upcoming. The first year, it was our first year, so I think there was a lot of like shock and awe and just being like, wow, we've made it a year, what the fuck, or whatever. I don't really remember what we said, but I do remember that for the second year, 2022, we tried to listen through our first year's recap episode and react to it.
Oh my god.
And I don't know if we even aired that. I think we both ended up crying. It was really, really horrible.
Yeah.
Just to hear our own voices.
It's not a good idea to react to your reaction to your, it's a little bit.
Yeah, I don't need that mirror effect on my past.
Right. And
so
it's
maybe we can just do a better job this time.
I have an idea.
Okay.
What if instead of doing that, well, maybe that could be, instead of doing that to that degree, maybe the end of year shout outs can just be a small segment of an episode. And maybe we could make an Instagram post with all of the people that we've interviewed that year.
Yeah. With
some photos of their shit and or of them or whatever, and shout them all out and be like, hey, the year's over. Thanks for being on our show.
That would be interesting. I think that would be good because it might be more, it might be a better use of our energy and reach. But another thing too is maybe what we do in our own personal life is instead of just like going over every single thing painstakingly, we make lists of like the best things or like things that were meaningful or whatever. So maybe we could both do that, like make a list of things that felt really good about the podcast this year, or things that like exciting moments or things we learned from.
Or what if it wasn't about the podcast at all, but it was just about our life, our year as individuals?
That's true.
And maybe we could tie in the podcast as well. Because I do that every year where I make a list of everything that happened that year, like within reason, like everything I did that year that was significant to me, good or bad.
Yeah.
And like just anything notable that occurred. And I've been doing that since like, I don't know, 2016 maybe. What exit am I coming up on? Not this one, right?
No. You know what I do every year on New Year's that's like, and not on New Year's, but around New Year's Eve, that's like maybe psychotic in retrospect, but it's been really helpful to me. Since like 2020 or so, I just do like a financial spreadsheet of everything numbers wise that's going on in my life. And then I make another one that's like where I want to be by the end of the following year. And for 3 years in a row, I have surpassed that, which is kind of exciting.
That's fucking really cool. It's so funny how you're motivated by financial investigation and numbers.
Measurables.
Yeah, when I think of numbers and things like that, I'm like no, put them away. Don't show me. I don't want to know.
I
this
want
one
to track your financials so bad. I think that it makes it easier for me because there's a roadmap. When I don't know what the objectives are, like for me, it's easier to stomach like, okay, I want to try to within 6 months get at least $2 an hour raise. And like maybe that won't happen, but it's easier to think about it like that than being like, I need $80,000 a year to survive in Massachusetts, because that's not happening soon. You know what I mean?
Right.
It breaking it down is helpful. And not even just like money, like income stuff, but also like, I think that it's easy to use numbers to track success of more abstract goals too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's kind of funny. I feel like budgeting is specifically too, like, and this is going to trigger you telling me how I could learn how to do this, but I just like never fully learned how to create a budget, which is like sounds so stupid to probably a lot of people, because it's just like figure out how much money is coming in and how much money has to go out, and then the difference is how much money you make.
Well, it's only
or
easy like
that
if
you
have
have
set
and
income,
to do.
though.
Right, which I kind of don't.
Yeah, you've been an independent contractor for a while.
Yeah, since like 2018, I've been pretty much just like in a financial turbulent whirlwind.
I feel like that's the case for a lot of artists. If you're self-employed, it's not quite so easy to make a budget because there isn't a template. You're working with what you got. What I tend to do that is helpful for me, just because something that's strict is a little hard for me, I like to manage my money, keeping in mind that I have ADD, which sometimes comes with impulsive spending. So what I do is when I get my bi-weekly paycheck, I budget in a certain amount of splurge money, knowing that that's going to happen anyway. Like I just fucking take the L and deal with it, and then budget in such a way that I can manage to pay everything regardless. Like I have a tracker for every single thing that comes through my account on a cycle, and then one of those things that I add in is like money to go to my savings, money for like my credit card payment, whatever. And then as those come through my account, I tick them off and just keep an eye on how much is left. And if I have extra when I'm done, that all goes in my savings account.
Hey, I hate to interrupt, but we've arrived at Mount Auburn Cemetery.
Mm-hmm.
What is the time situation like? Do we have to go in now?
It starts at 8:30, yeah.
What time is it?
8:28.
Should I pull in?
It says enter here at that door.
Oh. Because I'm really thirsty. Do you have any like a bottle of water?
I do.
Oh, fuck
actually,
yeah.
I have a huge one.
Hell yeah, dude. I need that so bad.
There you go.
All right, I'm good. That was my only need.
Good. Perfect.
All right.
I don't know how this situation is going to work because I reserved us spots, but we didn't get tickets or anything. They just told me it's reserved.
So we are going to show up here to pay for the ticket?
No, I already paid.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have a ticket.
You're probably going to have to talk to this man.
He just said go that way.
Oh, okay. Thank you, sir. All right, so the landscape...
Oh, it's a check-in table.
So what about what about the car?
All
right,
up that way?
I guess we'll shut off the recorder and fucking figure it out.
Okay.
Or not. So, wow, the landscape's beautiful. I see a lot of purple, green, blue. It looks kind of like the Oogie Boogie scene from Nightmare Before Christmas.
It does. I'm excited. And it doesn't feel that cold.
So, go this way?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's doing the airline thing. All the way down, take a right.
Thank you.
Oh, sweet.
All the way down and take a right is what she said.
Normally, I would never, ever, ever be in a cemetery at nighttime.
Yeah.
This is not that scary.
The only times I've been in a cemetery at nighttime, it was either I really didn't want to be there, or I was in some awful situation. Like I was like drunk or at like 2 a.m. in a cemetery. Did me hitting those twigs kind of make you nervous?
Yeah, I'm a little stressed out.
Oh, I'm not going to hit anything. I would just I brushed a bush.
I know.
Sorry about that.
This is just extremely narrow and it's making me anxious.
Oh, okay. All right, maybe we should shut the recording off.
Okay.
All right, we'll report back and tell you whether or not you should buy tickets to this event. Bye.
Yeah.
So we're walking through Mount Auburn.
Yeah, we just finished parking.
We both have earmuffs. And
I was just going to say that. It might be a little loud. I feel like I'm talking louder than normal because of my earmuffs.
I really like that I'm in my earmuff era.
You're in your earmuff era?
Are you? I've never had these before. These aren't even mine. They're my mom's.
I was going to say, you just borrowed them tonight and now you began an era?
Yeah, because I borrowed earmuffs. Maybe.
I bought
Weren't yours only like $5 or something?
They're pretty cheap. I forget.
Where'd you get them again? Was it Five Below?
It was at TJ Maxx when we went to return that jacket that didn't fit you. And I couldn't not buy some.
So I gotta say, being at Mount Auburn at night is really nice, only because they have like massive like industrial like highway lights everywhere, so you can hear the generator going right now, powering that giant illumination.
I really wish I had a big scarf on right now.
Oh yeah, true.
My face stings already.
Yeah, it's definitely pretty frackin' chilly. We're seeing
Hey, should we just take a note of where we parked?
I'll remember.
You'll remember?
Yeah, I'll make it happen. Don't worry about it. Sure? There's a limited area of which we were even allowed to park, so it can't be that many places. It's not like we're parked in some random part of the cemetery.
But what if they ask us which section we parked in and we don't know, and then we have to walk through the whole cemetery in the dark?
Then we'll be just like probably 90% of the people here that are just going to go, oh no.
Oh my God.
Literally, we were here earlier. There's just a big circle of where the cars were and are, I guess.
Around the pond.
Yeah, it's just like they just parked everybody in a circle.
Okay, I'm cold.
Yeah, it's super freaking chilly, dude. Well, it's the middle of December, and we're outside at nighttime.
Look at how big my legs look in the shadow.
Mine too. Actually, yours look taller than mine. I think it's because my pants are slightly baggy around my thighs. Baggier than yours. So it looks like my legs are shorter in the shadow.
It looks like we're on stilts.
So we were in an antique store the other day with like china cabinets and blah, 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 fragile shelves everywhere. And someone's booth just had stilts in them. And I like kind of stood on them a little bit for a second. Like I tried them just a little bit, but I had to stop because I was worried. Yeah. Because if I had fallen on those stilts, it would have been properly catastrophic.
Because I said, Brian, what are you doing?
Yeah. I can't wait to talk. So another thing too, just to be annoying, we're planning a huge fucking project. A huge high commitment project right now.
Oh, we're talking about this?
No, I'm vaguely addressing it.
Okay.
So we've been doing a lot of research and learning about that, and
breadcrumbing our projects.
Yeah, and it's like been keeping us up at night with anxiety. It's so significant. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so I can't wait.
So
to
you
talk
get to guess what that means.
You get to guess. We're going hard.
We'll tell you about it soon.
Taking a big risk.
Yeah, legal risks.
Big legal. We're committing a fucking bank robbery. Just kidding.
You'll hear about it.
Yeah. All right, I'm gonna covertly just keep recording. Okay.
No.
Don't worry about it. It's okay. No embarrassment. No awkwardness. I'm good.
I don't know why I reacted so negatively to that.
ABR. No, don't. Okay.
I did think it was weird that I didn't get any tickets.
You know, now that we're past that gate, should we just enjoy this for the 30 minutes and not go to that random thing?
The event?
Yeah, aren't we?
The actual event that we're here for?
Yeah, but aren't we in the event now and we can only be here for 30 minutes?
No.
Maybe we should just carry on and not
no.
go to that thing to type in the numbers. Oh, it's like a little drink area. Okay, so they got...
Oh, they have a little...
Oh, this is actually nice. Okay.
Where's the story chapel?
That's what I'm saying. Like, maybe we should just, like, all of these people are checked in. We're checked in. Let's just chill. We're good.
I want to know how it works and maybe get...
Okay, let's look at the video. This is a beautiful chapel.
You're responsible for the changes.
This is structured really similar to the abbeys in London that we saw, where it's got a big, large main room, 2 side rooms flanking the main parish.
I found my work because my father-in-law...
I believe those are called cloisters.
He had to die for me to find my vocation. It was a sudden death.
Yeah, I didn't know that it was an art thing. I'm going to cut out the part where I recorded that woman talking in the video because I looked online and that video isn't available anywhere, so I don't want to
I think it's an art piece for this.
Yeah, I'm not going to leak their thing, so... Yeah. But it's pretty cool. Like, I'm really surprised to see... I'm surprised but not surprised that it turns out there's a lot of mysticism associated with this.
Yeah.
It's like, she was describing her job as a memorial carver, like a stone carver for gravestones. And I thought it was going to be just kind of like her motivation and this and that, but it was like... Yeah, so very mystic, I guess, is all. I thought that was
reflecting on loss, too.
Yeah. I actually, obviously, this is about grief. I didn't anticipate that at all, but...
I've never seen that one that's lit up right there.
It's beautiful.
It's an angel carrying a baby that was in the coffin.
Oh, yeah, it's a woman.
The coffin's open, and she took the baby.
Yeah, kind of reminiscent of Christ leaving his tomb and ascending to heaven.
Interesting.
And there seems to be another angel on top, but to me it looks like a sphinx.
I was thinking that it has it
looks like an animal. It's probably just melted because a lot of the older headstones here, the figures and details are melted. What is that path? Let's go.
Should we take our headphones off?
our earmuffs?
Yeah.
No, I'm good. Shall we read it? Surrounded by the deep, visceral tones of the universe and a halo of light, this meditative artwork is inspired by the phenomenon of an eclipse, evoking the iconic image at an intimate scale. This is an invitation to contemplate the celestial wonder of an eclipse and to experience the passage from light to dark. Masery Studios. And then there's just a little symbol that says fog. Bit of foot traffic.
It's a little baby.
Oh, really? He's just a little guy experiencing a really cool thing. Oh, wow. This is actually fucking sick. So what we're looking at is a big dark area in front of a bunch of mausoleums with a huge black disc with a spotlight pointed at it, casting an eclipse. It's a simulation of an eclipse.
Should we just enjoy it for a second?
Am I making you not enjoy it?
Maybe we should stop recording until we leave.
I'm enjoying recording. Am I embarrassing you? Oh, yeah, you don't have to record with me. I've embarrassed Theo publicly because I was talking to the recorder, but nobody here knows that I'm talking to a recorder because everyone's in their own world. But yeah, this is profound. Horrifyingly so. The eclipse light is shining a bright spotlight onto the door of a mausoleum, and I can see inside of it. This is kind of reminding me of an A24 movie, like the ending of Hereditary. Pretty scary.
I just also, when we were looking at the immersive one, I wanted us to take it in before we recorded.
Right,
If you
yes.
experience it differently, that's fine.
Do you know what I'm kind of a little bit disappointed by? And it might be because I'm like an asshole or because I'm recording perhaps. But I feel like in a different state of mind, this would make me like weep or feel like a beautiful sense of transcendence and otherworldliness.
That's why I was saying that we should record after. So I feel like we should immerse ourselves fully.
Right now we're on the quiet,
He's gonna
illuminated
give us
path.
lanterns?
I think they're going to give us lanterns. Okay. Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Great, how's it going?
Good. Would you like to take a lantern for the walk?
Yeah, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you.
This is for you as well? Sure. This is a nice little short loop. You'll go down to the right and then you'll end up right in front of the Sphinx.
By the Sphinx. Thank you.
Have fun.
Did you read the sign?
Yeah. No, I didn't. What did it say?
I didn't read it either.
Oh, fuck it then.
Should we read it?
Yeah, sure.
Is it on?
Oh, yeah. Man, this lamp just makes it so I can't see.
Put it behind you. That's better.
How did people use lamps and torches back in the day? They seem really
Maybe you
ineffective.
have to go like this.
So
Oh, if you go
now,
like this, it's helpful.
well, now you're shining in my
Should we
eyes.
put one back?
No, fuck it. We're
I don't think we should both have them.
here. We'll put it behind our backs.
We have like
This
some-
is really fucking interesting.
I forgot we're supposed to be quiet.
We are.
No, we're being loud just now.
All right, well, we're being quiet now, right?
It said something about like spending time with the dead. Oh, there's
Interesting.
chairs. Should we sit down and ponder?
Yeah, let's sit and ponder.
Look, that one's off by accident.
Do you think that if you actually had loved ones buried here, that this would be like an unbelievably significant event?
I would like it a lot.
Me too. How much do you think a plot is here?
We looked it up one time, a long time
Really?
ago.
Because I'm pretty sure the average is like, I think it can range anywhere from like 800 to like 5,000 at an average cemetery. So if that's like a shitty, like a regular cemetery in the suburbs would probably cost you like $2,000. And if that's the case, this place is probably like, yeah, it looks like a puff of smoke that a giant blew out of his nose.
It looks like it has wings. Like an angel. Or Mothra.
Dude, my thumb hurts so bad still.
It looks more like Mothra. Your thumb?
Yeah, because
yeah.
I sliced my thumb open. I could fall asleep in this little chair.
Are we doing a bad job of honoring the dead? quietly.
I definitely am.
Me too. Should we keep going?
Okay.
I would be pondering more if I thought, oh my god.
You okay?
I felt it. I didn't know it slid back like that.
Oh.
I didn't know that I would want hot chocolate so bad.
Oh, you really want hot chocolate?
I was sitting in that little chair thinking about how hot chocolate would make it better.
Do you want to get hot chocolate on the way out?
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
I do, actually. Unless we go get something else.
We'll go to Bova's.
Really?
Yeah, that's what I said, your favorite. I said we'll go to your favorite. That's what I meant.
I was hoping you meant that, but I wasn't sure.
You didn't know what I meant.
Look at the orbs.
They're beautiful. I like that they included orbs because it's like a very like commonly held belief by the average person that orbs in photographs are ghosts. So I kind of like that they kind of like threw some orbs in.
How do you think they picked the ones that have candles on them? Do you think they're significant?
No. I think it's probably random. That's my
If I hold
guess.
this up to my face, does it look cool?
It does. It looks like a movie scene.
You do too.
Really? Is that you, Potter? It's like Filch, you know?
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Potter.
That green light makes that tree look like it's a ghost.
Yeah. Wow.
The music really adds to it.
Oh, yeah. What? Oh, that big.
Sculpture.
Yeah. It's funny, this is like a completely different place at nighttime, and it's obviously a completely different place with these lights and music. Is this our turn? Thank you.
Right at the end.
Appreciate it. Wow. It's beautiful.
Isn't that beautiful?
Yeah. Do you know what's kind of funny about this? Have you ever heard of bisexual lighting? Do you know what that is on the internet? On YouTube?
I was thinking.
This is a bisexually lit cemetery.
I think it looks like the strip lights that were viral in 2020,
Yeah.
but in like a really good way.
Yeah.
Like in a really pretty way. I
You
feel
really-
bad. That sounded disparaging. I didn't mean it though.
No, I mean, look, I don't think I'm making fun of this. I think that we love this, and that's why we're laughing about it. Because we're enjoying it.
I can't
It's bringing us joy.
Oh, if you do this and block the lantern from your eyes, but put it forward, you can see.
You know, I wonder if traditional lanterns that people actually used back in lantern days, do you think they had a metal backing so that the light wasn't facing you? It just only faced forward?
That would be a good design.
Because that's literally like what a flashlight is. Oh, there's a car
car?
coming. Oh, let's go into the
Is
grass.
this allowed?
That's probably an employee or a groundskeeper. Let's wait until they go by.
Oh, good one.
Are they lost? Do you think it's... I wonder if it's somebody that just totally fucked up. And they're like, what the fuck? Where do I go? They're looking at the GPS right now. Let's leave them alone. This person's probably in a disaster situation right now.
He got out.
He's moving the cones. That guy's breaking a lot of rules right now.
An employee?
Yeah, definitely. Most definitely, yeah. Wow. Did you know that I believe it's in... Oh, wow, that's beautiful. I think it's in Virginia. There's a cemetery called... Is it in Richmond? I forget where it is, what state. I'll have to double check. But it's called the Hollywood Cemetery. And it's designed by the same developers and landscape architects that designed here. So it's supposed to be like a clone of Mount Auburn, or like the same aesthetics and vibe.
That sounds
But in the
familiar
South.
to me. It's called the Hollywood Cemetery?
Yeah, I think it's called that because of like, I think there's just like a tree called Hollywood trees or something. So
Really?
I'm pretty sure Hollywood is a plant, and that's why the name Hollywood was named that, because of a tree or a plant or something.
This girl that we're laughing with is doing this alone. It seems like a nice experience. She's taking on a photo. She seems very meditative.
You
I
know,
don't want to ruin her vibe.
yeah, we'll give her some distance. This is definitely the type of thing that you would recommend. Like, I bet there's a lot of people that go to this from like grief groups. like
Yeah.
support groups that do group trips to this. If they don't, they should.
This is going on. I saw a poster. It goes on until the 21st. So solstice is the last night.
Yeah, we should get this out this week.
Yeah.
That means we would have to delay the one we have in queue,
We have a bunch
unfortunately.
in the queue.
Yeah, which is
That's okay.
awesome. I love that,
think
man.
I think we'd like to get the word out about this because it's very cool.
Yeah, now that we're here, I was being a little bit... Oh, that's so beautiful. What we're looking at is an absolutely wild and interesting projector art, giant projection art onto the rose window of the chapel. It's very cool. Do these belong to you? Thank you. Gotcha. All right. This way?
Yep.
Either way?
Once you've been to the chapels, I'd say go to the sign there and make a left first. If you haven't seen the projections.
Oh, to see the projections, go this way.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Just past the sign on the left.
Thanks. Good thing we asked that guy.
Yeah, that was okay.
Did you know that that Sphinx is to commemorate, I believe, lives lost during the transatlantic slave trade?
I think he talked to me about that one time we were watching theater.
There's an inscription on it. Anyway, we'll have to look into that at a different time.
First.
Microcosm of Aether. 2 audio-visual poems inspired by the vastness of the cosmos.
Where do we fit in the immensity of the universe itself?
That's a good question. Is this the path?
Yeah.
I won't be loud. I'll stop recording. We're approaching the chapel. Holy shit. Sorry. This is a very British chapel. There's a man playing cello up on the balcony. And the whole place is illuminated with candles.
It's very warm in here. I like it.
Yeah, it is. Wow.
There's thousands of little candles that are really lit right now.
I know. Unbelievable.
I know that you know.
I'm sorry. I don't know why I said that. I can fucking see them. Sorry. So the only thing that makes this not British is the fact that there isn't thousands of dead bodies in this room. Remember that from Westminster? There would just have like hundreds and hundreds of graves in the floor and walls of every room.
But the floor by the altar does have different tile, just like there. Maybe there are people downstairs.
You know, it maybe, I couldn't say.
No, because it's a chapel, not an abbey.
Oh yeah, that's so crazy. Did you know Westminster Abbey and Bath Abbey are listed on Find a Grave as cemeteries?
Makes sense. I feel like we should clap.
Me too, Dildo. He's just turning the page of his music. How much do you think that guy got paid tonight? He probably got a lot.
The cello guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
makes it unique from the British ones is the British ones seem to have thousands of sculptures and like carvings and artworks. This one's very minimal.
That's true.
Well, this one was built during a later period of art history.
Yeah. When was this built? Like 30s?
I'm pretty sure the sign said 18 something. 1820 something. We can check.
20?
We should double check when we go outside. There was signage that said it.
It's giving 1890s to me.
The information center had a sign about it, but I didn't read it.
We'll read it. We'll check.
Okay. Do you think if I go back up and get another candle, they'll let me out?
Yeah, probably.
How many times do you think I could do it?
At least 3.
What if I tell them I know a lot of people who've died? Will they stop me?
Honestly, if you were deadpan enough, they definitely wouldn't. They'd probably be too afraid to like morbidly offend you or something. You know what I mean? Like if they really thought you were being serious. I was being a little loud there.
Raises your voice so everyone can hear you over the cello.
Fuck.
Should we move on?
Yeah, I'm done.
I started to realize everybody isn't talking. It's just us and the people behind us.
Fuck. All right, let's go. Oh God.
Continue down the lighted path to the right.
Oh, thank you.
We turned around and people were like crying and holding each other and stuff. And we were just talking. In the
Wait,
front
they
row.
were?
There
People were
a couple
crying and
yeah.
holding each other? Fuck. That's so awkward. Am I being too irreverent? Because I'm deeply enjoying this and I don't feel
I think most
like...
people here are enjoying it for
Okay.
art thing.
I just hope the listener knows that I deeply love and respect everything happening here. This is great. Not trying to be facetious in any way.
I know I made a joke about a dead person, but a loved one of mine died really recently, so I feel like I'm allowed.
Yeah, I'm also a big believer in finding peace and happiness and comfort and expressing grief through comedy.
Yeah.
I think that's like 100% the best, one of the best things you can do.
And I only took one candle.
Could you hold my phone while I zip up my coat?
Yeah. Do you want me to zip your coat?
Yeah, will you zip my coat up for me?
I go for you.
Thank you. I feel a little less bad about talking loud where we are right now because there seems to be no people around us. Whoa, a little close. You almost pinched my chin.
I didn't pinch your chin.
Do you remember getting your chin pinched by a zipper when you were a little kid?
Yeah.
Wasn't that the worst?
That could only happen to a little baby.
I feel
I
like...
think it only happens to little babies.
And parents that are aggressively putting on a jacket because they're probably like foaming at the mouth from stress and anxiety
Yeah.
of getting a kid ready.
And also wearing a big puffy coat that's very close to your neck. Because you know how hard it would be to get your neck stuck in your zipper?
You know, I have an antique photo that's just a picture of a baby wearing winter clothes.
Oh.
And he looks like a marshmallow.
Oh my god.
Georgie. What year is that from? 1837? 27?
Margaret Dodd, I think it says. And she was born 37.
Oh, let me move to the left. I'm blocking it. You can see it?
Yeah. She was born on the 4th of July in 1837 and
Wow.
died on December 31st of 1874.
Well, God bless America, Margaret.
She died on New Year's Eve.
Wow. Wow, isn't that interesting?
She's born the 4th of July and died on New Year's Eve.
Huh. I bet when she told, if she ever had to like tell the police, wait, never mind.
What?
I was going to say, like, you know how like if you have to tell the police your birthday, like if you have a conspicuous birthday, they might think you're lying.
That probably didn't happen to Harriet. I don't think she says.
I was going to say, I almost said, do you think when she had to tell people her birth and death day, they thought she was lying? But alas.
Dying on New Year's Eve would be a really interesting. I feel like it would add just a little extra layer of baggage for your loved ones.
I think it would really also really depend on the age of the person.
She was probably 50, I think.
Oh, yeah, that's
30s to 70s.
that's so bad.
But in the 1800s, wasn't 50 like wicked old?
Wait, did you say she was born in the 1830s?
And she died in the 1870s.
Oh.
Wait.
I thought
No, 40s.
she died in the 1840s.
She was in her 40s.
Oh, yeah,
30s to 70s is 40 years.
That's very bad. That's a very bad age to die at. I would say optimum age, 115.
Father, mother, Hattie.
Hattie. What do you think that name is? Harriet, maybe?
Probably. That sounds right.
Harriet? Hattie? That's a really beautiful part of the cemetery that's blocked off over there.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's probably too hilly. They probably didn't want us going in the grass.
Yeah, and they lock this place up after close. So this actually, you know how there's like people who are like insane people that try to stay in a store after it closes?
Yeah.
They probably have to make sure people don't do that here,
Probably.
because that could potentially be bad.
Whoa. What am I hearing?
This is the last sculpture installation thing. It's the circle thing to our right.
We're already almost done?
Yeah, I think we're at the last stop. I think we've stayed way beyond our 30-minute allocated
I
thing,
don't
though.
think we were supposed to be here for 30 minutes. I think it's a 30-minute entry window.
Oh, well, that makes more sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
I told you.
Oh, maybe you did. I just didn't get it, apparently.
I only think that because other places do that.
I hope I didn't ruin tonight by making this an episode, because I'm really enjoying this, recording
enjoying it
this.
too.
This is really fun.
Are you saying that you're concerned that I think that? Because I'm not upset.
No.
Oh, phase garden.
I'll read it to us. This installation immerses the audience in celestial rhythms using light and sound. It explores the dynamic relationships found in our solar system, where seemingly random events are beautifully and sometimes strangely connected within the cosmos. How do we experience the tones and rhythms of this universe? In Phase Garden, we play with the various ways that cosmic rhythms contribute to and define our sense of time. Phase up.
Strobe loud fog.
Oh, those are like content warnings.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Okay. Oh, do we go in there? Thank you. How we doing? I know.
Where do you think all the animals are right now? There's usually animals in here.
They're probably here, but
They're just hiding.
we probably just can't see them. Maybe animals sleep at night. I don't know.
Some do.
Yeah, probably only a handful, but I bet. Do you think a lot of animals are nocturnal because the other nocturnal animals were eating them so much that they had to become nocturnal?
What does that say?
For
God,
my
my
leader.
my sword for my companion. That's sick.
That is sick. It looks like this might have been a military person or a police officer. Yeah,
I have no idea
actually,
what helmet that
that
is.
looks like some type of cavalry helmet. It looks like a King's Guard helmet, actually, for England.
Really?
I think that's literally a King's Guard helmet.
What's that badge thing?
Does it bad?
You know, that information is beyond my expertise. But I think this might have been a British guy. That's certainly a British name, Austin Wellington.
Oh, there's an angel one. I like the ones with sculptures on these.
Me too. Excuse me. Wow. Should we go to the right?
If you want to go through the lights, you see
Oh.
the path right through there. Just watch your step. There's 3 steps where those 3 white lights are.
Thanks.
No problem.
So right now we're walking through a giant, beautiful circle with flashing, beautiful lights. I don't even know how to describe what we're doing right now. It's so sick. You just do.
Should we take off our earmuffs?
Oh, yeah. All right. Oh, yeah, that's a big difference. Wow.
Is this a fountain?
I don't know. I don't think it is. It could be. The lights are pulsing with the sounds, kind of arrhythmically. Wow, what the fuck?
This is what it would feel like if you were a fairy.
Maybe this is what fairies see when they're sleeping.
Fairy dreams?
Yeah.
Maybe this is what happens when you're dead.
That would suck. You know what? Maybe this is what happens when you're dead, like in the waiting room. Like before the next life. Like this is you.
This is limbo?
Yeah, like you're in limbo for like 10 minutes or so until they like queue you up for wherever you're going.
Do you think the fog machine is making us wet?
No.
Oh, it's going in circles.
Oh. I wonder if that's a real drummer. It sounds like it.
Where would he be?
Over behind the bushes.
Should we go find him?
Yeah, let's see. I think that's a real guy.
I think it's a recording.
You think it's a recording?
Doesn't it have reverb?
It does, but that doesn't mean it's not real.
Loudspeakers say
Sometimes reverb is naturally occurring.
speakers.
Ah, shit. It is fake, isn't it?
Oh,
No,
fake, it's
that's
just-
definitely from the speakers. Whoa.
it sounds like the Dark Crystal.
So, what's fucking crazy about this dude is this lighting. So, they're giant moving lights coordinating with the music on these huge, like, metal rigs that are all connected with, like, probably thousands of yards of extension cords. This is like a fucking Comcast Center level rigging right here. Holy shit.
Do you think they can see it in that plane?
Maybe the pilot. Maybe he can.
It's a very low plane.
Yeah. Probably just took off.
This is magical.
Where do you think the people in the plane are going?
London.
Definitely London.
Should we keep walking around?
Sure.
I think we saw everything.
I think we have to. Hot chocolate? We don't have to leave yet. We can vibe. Here, I'm gonna shut off the recording. Okay, so it's the end of the night. We've been here for a solid have we been here for 2 hours?
We got here at 8:30.
Hour and a half then.
Yeah.
So we did an hour and a half. Now we're both really cold. We're really tired, and we're both very hungry.
Well, it's not that bad. I'm a little cold, and I'm very hungry, and I'm a little tired.
I feel like you're never apprehensive about recording unless you're one of those things.
I'm not apprehensive about recording.
All right, we'll see. Do you still want to go to Bova's?
Honestly,
I kind
I
of
don't want to go home.
Yeah, I don't want to go to Bova's. That's too
Yeah.
much work.
I'm kind of not in the mood. I mean, I am, but it would be very hard. It would get home really late.
Yeah, Bova's kind of...
I love Bova's, but it's already 10 o'clock.
Do you think that the difficulty of getting to Bova's adds to the allure of going there?
Yes.
Like the fact that where it's so hard to fucking get to and you can't park and it's...
If it was like a drive-through situation, or if it was like a Target with the parking lot or something, I
would never go.
No, I would go so much that it wouldn't be fun anymore.
Yeah, there was actually 1 month where we went to Bova's like twice in the same like couple weeks, and I remember... Yeah, I was there and I was like,
Bova's is for very special.
Did we fuck up?
Did this person?
Did this guy fuck us?
Were you just blindly following a random guy?
We're blindly following a random guy and
no,
they
he's
fucked
stupid.
us.
He's supposed to go right. There's
Oh.
a sign over there that says exit. He better go. Does he see it?
Come on, you fucking
Oh wait,
asshole.
that sign doesn't say anything. It's just a sandwich board. Well, we obviously can't go straight. They better go right.
Maybe I should just go around him on the right.
Is he? What the fuck?
Oh, he's trying to turn right.
He pulled too far forward to do it.
Yeah.
He didn't see the big tent in the way.
This person's just stupid.
How come the staff is gone?
I think because we stayed until the very end without realizing it.
Are we here past close? There's no other cars now that you mention it. I didn't know that until right now. What?
Dude, fuck this guy. Just go. Drive until you find an exit.
Are they supposed to
Fuck
go
it.
left? The cones go... Oh, wait, that lady moved the cones.
So what do I do?
That way.
This way?
That's the street, so there must be an exit over there.
That's not completely always true in cemeteries. Cemeteries are like labyrinths.
We are out of the area where there's light, though. I feel like this is wrong.
I'm not worried about it.
No, wait, if you go that way, it'll bring you back to the door. I know where we are.
Okay, cool.
This is where those guys told us to walk.
So, right off the bat, some random observations and thoughts.
Okay.
Ambient music seems so strange because it seems as though it is a form of drone music, which obviously is music that is playing the same note for a extended period of time in various forms and fashions and shapes. But it seems like ambient music isn't really doing that, but it also doesn't feel like it's harmonizing either. Like it's just this giant anti-melodic wall of sound. Like, what is ambient? Hey, can you GPS, by the way?
Yeah.
Look at this piece of shit.
Enter the exit only.
Get out of here,
There's a
you
line
asshole.
of cars in the way.
Oh, I think it's this woman's Uber.
Oh. That's annoying that he parked there, but I guess that's acceptable.
What a bad person.
It is their Uber.
I hope that guy goes to hell.
Stop saying that. That's bad to say about people.
To wish that someone would go to hell.
Yeah.
You know, if hell was real, it would like if you knew for a fact that hell was 100% real, wouldn't you be fucking scared?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be bad?
Obviously.
I'd be pretty fucking upset if I came to know that hell was real.
Go to hell?
Yeah, fuck that, dude. And it would suck so bad if the only way to not go to hell was to be a devout, pious, like monk or something.
Huh.
You know, you just had to live in a seminary forever or go to hell. Anyway, whatever.
Huh.
Yeah, that. So we were just reflecting on the fact that we didn't expect it. Fuck you. We didn't expect the event. I can see it. Don't worry about it. We didn't expect the event to be about grief.
It wasn't just about grief, but that was a big undertone.
Yeah, obviously, like I said, a genius could have, an idiot could have you didn't have to be a genius to figure out that an ambient light sound installation at a famous cemetery, famous for its outstanding and beautiful landscape architecture
And gravestones.
Obviously an installation there would be about contemplating the beauty of life and death and the final resting place and what it means to let go and to grieve and
it's the solstice.
And it's the solstice, which to many probably an infinite number of cultures is a very significant day. To in the video presentation, there was a man who was a Massachusetts Wampanoag music educator, I guess, but also some type of spiritual educator who was talking about who was talking about the solstice and some numbers and ideas, numerology and things associated with it. Obviously, I can't accurately repeat anything that guy said because I didn't fully watch the video.
I was writing a little note when that happened. There was a wall where you could leave a wish or a prayer or just a message to others.
Yeah.
And I was writing one, so I did not listen.
Yeah. I listened a little bit to the woman who was talking about stone carving, and that was pretty crazy because... Actually, I don't want to recount the things we saw in the video. That seems a little bit redundant.
I don't want to steal the show.
Yeah, don't worry about it. If you go, you'll see the video and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was profound. Honestly, and I'll admit it, taking out all of the love of Mount Auburn, all of, and I say this with every ounce of goodwill, Usually when I hear immersive art sound installation, I'm usually like,
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, all right, okay. I'll go walk around a dark room and listen to ambient music for 30 minutes and then until I leave.
I would also feel that way. But then I saw that it had really good, like, people that I know and respect said that they really liked it. So I was like, let's give this a shot. Let's see what it is.
Yeah, I would put that at elite level installation and sound art.
Yeah.
I think that was definitely top tier. I mean, yeah, I've definitely seen some crappy stuff as far as that genre goes, but that was superior.
Yeah.
And it's so funny because I feel like this is why reviewing things sucks. It's because, like, what is there to say now?
What?
I'm saying, like, we already said everything that we felt about it while we were there recording,
You didn't ask me what I feel.
Oh, sorry. What part about the sound and art installation surprised you?
Thank you. I'm not going to tell you until you ask me a good question to preface
Was that a
it.
good question?
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh, okay. What surprised you?
What surprised me? I didn't really know what to expect at all going into it because I didn't really read that much about it. So I think... Well, I guess this isn't really specifically the sound installation, but I found the parts where we went inside, the little chapels, interesting because I didn't know that was going to be part of it. And the part where everyone had little candles lit and the whole room was like flickering fire was really beautiful. And I feel like I was a little surprised just like in terms of a public art thing to see actual flames and candles being distributed to the public. Like, I feel like normally that would not happen because it's a liability. But I guess we were in a stone building and everybody did okay.
Yeah, and it was being overseen and supervised by a group of employees of the show or whatever.
I didn't feel unsafe. I felt trusted, which was kind of exciting.
That's a pretty cool observation that you felt trusted to participate in the kind of moment. I think that's actually kind of
It felt real and reverent in a way that it might not have if it wasn't... Like, if they were, like, little electronic tea lights, it would still be pretty, and that's kind of what I was expecting. But it smelled like wax. The whole room was warm. Like, it was really beautiful. When you went up to the altar, everybody had to be careful not to, like, jostle anything. Like, it just felt meaningful and immersive in a tactile, sensory way that I really liked. And I was kind of surprised that they allowed that. But I guess it is a church. Like, that's not unheard of in a church setting.
I once went to a candlelight vigil where they did tea lights, like little, like, battery tea light things.
Yeah.
And I actually remember it being kind of whack. Like, I remember it kind of took away from the experience.
Yeah. I understand why, because the last thing you want is for somebody to drop it or something, or somebody to get burned. Like, it makes sense from a liability perspective, but it is, it felt... I don't know if there's definitely a word for this, but it's not coming to mind right now, but it felt like being part of something, like, ritualistic almost, that was, like, from before we were alive and that will exist after we're gone. Like, the idea of coming together in a space like that with, like, hot little candles. I was thinking while I was in there about what it was like in, like, the year 1200 to be in a little stone chapel with, like, fire and stuff around you, like, around the body of a loved one, or in a mass or something. Like, it felt there was a sense of connection to something greater. Not in a spiritual way even, just in a, like, people who've come before us way.
It's so funny you say that, because when I'm in a Roman Catholic church, like the ones I grew up in, I don't feel a connection to, like, the distant hundreds of years past. What I feel in those churches is a connection to Irish American settlers, the 1800s. I'm thinking about Boston. I'm thinking about my own personal ancestors. Yeah. I'm not thinking about England or, like, Europe. But in that church we were just in, with all those candles, I was thinking about Europe.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just because of our London trip. It was because there was something, like, it did not feel religious. Something about it felt ancient.
Yeah.
And transcendent in that way. And I think that's pretty cool. Because if that was just some type of event for Catholic, reverence and worship, there would have been nothing wrong with that. But it wouldn't necessarily have felt like an immersive, like, transcendent art experience.
Yeah.
Or a spiritual experience. It would have just felt like I was, obviously I'm speaking for myself, a Catholic person would feel whatever. But, like, it would just feel like I'm participating in some, like, awkward, like, religious experience.
Yeah.
That I was, like, waiting for it to be over.
You know what's actually interesting? You mentioned when we were in the chapel that it didn't look like the ones that we had been to in England because there wasn't art on the walls, and I'm realizing that might have been because is non-denominational the word I'm looking for? It was a non-denominational space.
It probably is. Yeah, on paper it's probably a non-denominational space.
Like, anybody from any background could have walked in there and had that feeling.
Perhaps secular was the word you're looking for.
Yes, I think so. Maybe, yeah, I think that's what I mean.
Like a all-purpose, all-faiths kind of... Anyway.
I always forget if I mean non-secular or secular.
Secular means not religious.
Okay, that's what I mean then.
Non-secular is religious.
So it felt like a more secular space.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, obviously the architecture was, like, inspired by churches and, like, not cathedrals, I guess, because it's not as ornate on the... Well, maybe the outside. It had, like, a vaguely European aesthetics, but there were no paintings or sculptures because there was no iconography that I recall.
This is so strange to think about, because I'm thinking about Holy Family specifically, the church that I was originally familiar with in my life, and that place, it feels very old and stuffy and crappy, like it feels like an old building, but it's just packed with oil paintings and sculptures and stained glass.
Yeah.
That I found out in the last year or two, are all real paintings on canvas mounted to the walls.
Yeah.
And, like, built into the plaster, which is fucking crazy. And they're all by unknown art. There's no record of who made them. Which is also crazy.
I also wonder if your perspective of it being, like, an old crappy building is because you've gone there your whole life. Because I went there with you one time in my adult life, and I'd never been there before, and I was absolutely stunned when we walked in there that it was that ornate. Like, someone's, like, hometown church is usually like the one that I went to when I was growing up. There were paintings on the walls, but it was, like, a couple of them. It was a very, like, humble space.
Yeah.
That place is ornate as fuck.
It's Roman Catholic. It's Catholic people in this area in the late 1800s. I did some research on this and found some, if you're interested, whatever, but there's a lot of fucking money for the Catholic Church in this area in the late 1800s.
Yeah.
Like, they were building churches. They were building a lot of fucking churches. They were importing artisan stained glass from other countries. Wow. Fucking statues. Like, they were, it turns out I don't know why this is. I kind of hit some dead ends, but apparently there were a lot of very, very wealthy Irish entrepreneurs, contractors, builders, and business people in Boston that would pretty much only put their money in Catholic institutions, like the building of churches or parochial schools, which is and it turns out in Rockland in the early 1800s, there was a Catholic church that was like a little wood shack in the woods, essentially. Like it was like a primitive, crappy like church, and it was knocked down and abandoned, and they rebuilt it in the center of town, and then that one closed, and they moved a part of the building somehow to where Holy Family is now. And like, I don't understand. It was like some very strange, convoluted story about when a building was moved at some point somehow.
Wow.
It's very odd, but I find it really cool that there's some like ancient long lost church with no name, just like in a field in Rockland that's just in like the 17 and 1800s.
Yeah.
That's pretty creepy to me, really. Anyway, but yeah, that was like, I think that's such an interesting thing to think about, is a kind of non-denominational or a non-religious spiritual experience in art, because it's really encouraged for artists. Like, people really encourage artists to explore and reflect and make art about their cultural identity and their spiritual identity and their upbringing and their background. I'm not saying like, oh, that's like in or something, but since the beginning of time, that's like one of the main things that people want from artists, and what artists want to do is explore those things. So it's interesting to see an experience like that created, where it's inviting the viewer or the participant to have a transcendent spiritual, or maybe spiritual is too much wording, maybe it's too much verbiage, maybe it's just about inviting the participant or viewer to have a transcendent experience.
Yeah, transcendent is a good word, because I think a lot of the like, even if you were going into that space as a completely atheistic person that has no spirituality at all, it was still a relatable space, I think. Like, there was some of the light shows were reflecting on like the role of a person in the cosmos, and like thinking about how large the universe is and what your context is within it, and like grappling with the idea of a loss, and just reflecting on that loss and the fact that we don't know if anything happens at all, what happens, whatever. It was very open-ended. Like, you could watch that and ponder those questions no matter what you actually think of that, without it wasn't steering anybody to any kind of conclusion. It was just sort of sitting in that not knowing, which is a really interesting thing, because it was a really beautiful experience, and it was not a scary or saddening experience, really, but it was. Transcendent is a good word.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people, especially people who have complicated feelings about religion, which is everybody these days, or people who don't identify with any religion, like you said, like people who are like atheist or agnostic in some way, a lot of those people are resistant to the idea of a spiritual experience, even resistant to it to the point where they're like, oh, like astrology's fake, which is, whatever, but but I think it's interesting though, because if we're going to talk about like science and the cosmos and shit, I mean, I have felt for many years that you can have a transcendent, profound, or otherworldly experience that gives value and perspective and wonder to your life without it having anything to do with spirituality, religion, whatever the fuck, whatever word, whatever direct, secret, or indirect word you're using to refer to spiritual belief or practice.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have to, like, that experience is a feature of the brain. Like, we experience absolutely mind-blowing, profound, perspective-altering, otherworldly things. That's what being a human is. Seeing a baby get born, a fireworks show, seeing your favorite artist in the fucking world live. Like, that's what I'm talking about. A transcendent, mind-blowing, perspective-shifting, why, that's what I refer to. That's what a spiritual experience is. Not getting fucking baptized, even though that, I should say though, but to some, it's a Venn diagram.
Yeah. Where
transcendent experience is on one side and religious spiritual experience is on the other.
And there's definitely overlap.
Absolutely.
The question is really where you find meaning.
Yeah.
And that can be anything if it's resonant to you.
Yeah. You're right.
I think the part that people struggle with sometimes is when you've just experienced a loss, or when things aren't going well, like maybe you're in a really bad situation, or you have a bad outlook as a result of negative experiences. Sometimes looking for meaning at all feels uncomfortable for people. So it doesn't matter what that thing is. Like when you're talking about somebody who might be annoyingly opposed to astrology, or doesn't like when people read into things, or is irritated by people talking about religion or something, that seems like less of an issue of believing or not believing in a certain practice or belief system, and more of a belief issue.
And one thing I feel like is really awesome, that's also pretty difficult, is that the idea of exploring a belief, I feel like a lot of people are troubled by the fact that there's a limited set of options in front of you. Do I believe in God? Do I believe in not God? Do I believe in, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a lot of people feel like that's multiple choice.
Yeah.
But it isn't. The good news, I think, is that, and you know this, it's, you get to decide what that is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter. Nobody even has to know what you believe. You know what I mean? It's just that meaning and that belief. Also, that's also an interesting thing. I think it's also not really a decision in the way that we normally think about decisions. Thinking about I don't fucking know, what movie am I gonna watch tonight?
Yeah.
That, or what am I gonna have for dinner? That's the way we normally think about a decision. You don't normally think about a decision like a
faith.
Well, maybe faith isn't a decision, but it's a decision that might take you a decade to make. Maybe it's an insanely slow choice, that takes place over a extremely extended period of time, of you deciding whatever it is you're deciding about the world. And I used faith in a very clinical way right there.
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about faith in God. I was talking about faith as in believing something that you don't have evidence of.
Yeah.
To clarify.
Well, another thing too that person was wildly texting and driving, using both hands to type.
Hell yeah, dude.
Jesus.
They must believe in God. They feel very safe doing that, apparently.
I was going to say another thing that has been helpful for me lately is not believing anything at all, but just being okay with not understanding.
Yeah.
If you're talking about death, you don't have to know anything or decide that you agree with something or that you know what the truth is. You can just not know, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's crazy too, because I think that's why faith is such an important word. I feel like I sound like such a fucking douche. I sound like I'm like a volunteer, pastor or something. Yeah. I think that's why faith is so cool, because I'm saying when you think about evidence, belief, demonstrative, visual, proof, that's exactly what it sounds like. Evidence and proof are concrete smoking guns of things to believe in.
Yeah.
But I have faith not to be macabre and scary, but I have faith that I am going to make it back to my house tonight without dying.
Yeah.
Right? I have faith that I'm not going to relapse on drugs and alcohol ever.
Yeah.
Like, sorry to say a bunch of fucked up shit, but like that's faith, in a clinical sense. And I think it's pretty profound, if you think about it, that a word for that even exists.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's kind of linguistically odd that humans that we needed a word for that, or English speaking people.
There's a lot
or
of
whatever.
situations, I think, where you experience faith that isn't even something as black and white as that. Like, I think I'm self-conscious about sounding like a youth pastor, because I feel like this is really going to sound
We're
like that,
not
but-
religious at all. We do not want to be.
Just don't even say that's bad too. Don't say that.
This is not a cult.
Oh my god. But no, I think something that this is like a weird thing to put side by side with that conversation, but I think about that with like love and friendship too. Like, you can't have undeniable proof that the people in your life care about you.
Yeah.
No matter what. Like, you're the closest person in the world to me, and I hang out with you every single day, but you can't prove, like, numerically to me, like, that I could do an equation and figure out that you definitively love me and are going to. You know what I mean? Like, there's a certain kind of... There's a certain line at which a person should express how much they care about you and stuff, and then there's, like, a whole cavern beyond that anxiety can tiptoe into, that you have to, as an adult or as a well-adjusted person, at a certain point, like, you express your needs, the other person expresses their needs, you both do the things you're supposed to do in a loving or caring relationship or friendship, and then there's also an element of relaxing and having faith that that person means what they're saying, and that you can trust the dynamic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of things that we do that aren't necessarily spiritual, but require faith.
Yeah, like, take, like, the idea of, like, communion and eating, and how a lot of people say grace before they eat.
Yeah.
I heard of one person talking about how one thing they do before they eat is they think about all of the different facets of their meal, everything from the seasoning to vegetables to the whatever it is, and think about all of the steps those items had to take, all the people they passed through, the preparation, the labor, the work, like everything that went into those items that led to their plate.
Wow.
Like, from farmers and faraway states, and just, you know, and just thinking about their meal and the idea of like an infinite chain, like a extremely long line of people and places and work went into you eating.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool to just reflect on. I guess the idea is intentional reflection.
Yeah.
You know, I read a book about that one time that was like really profound. It was like one of those like stupid ass like business self-help section books, but it was called How Successful People Think, which already sounds like a red flag of a book.
Yeah.
But it was pretty fucking interesting because it was a book that was just this like extremely linear clinical description of how to reflect and how to think. Like, it wasn't like, this is how you make money. Like, it wasn't any stupid shit like that. It was just like strategies on how to reflect.
Huh.
Like, either through writing or thinking or different exercises.
Yeah.
And it was like, I still use almost all of them to this day.
That's really cool.
Yeah. That's where I got the end of year thing that I do from, that book.
Really?
Yeah, like, just, yeah. I forget how they actually describe it in the book. I think I do like kind of my own random version of that, but
They give you a jumping off point, though.
yeah, but it was really interesting. It's interesting because everybody reflects in one way or another, but it's a different thing entirely. It was a different thing entirely for me to not just like randomly without purpose reflect, and beginning to set aside time to intentionally reflect.
Yeah.
That's definitely, I guess I can't say that for everybody. You know, that's not really a blanket statement thing, but it was 100% game changing for me to think about it that way.
I think that is really good advice for at least most people. I try to do that, but I don't do it nearly as often as I could or should, I guess. My reflection probably is limited to, I think a lot in the car, because I drive a lot.
Yeah.
But I don't know if that really counts. But as far as like written...
You journal a lot.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I've been keeping journals since I was a little kid, so they're not in order or anything. I used to have them in order in my room when there were less of them. And, you know the little shelf that was in my old closet in my childhood bedroom?
Yeah.
All of my journals used to be in sequential order on that shelf when I was growing up.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Well,
Did you just have too many of them? Couldn't line them up like that anymore?
I probably could, but to be honest, I've had a very transient late teens, early 20s. Like I've moved like 7 times, so they're always in like milk crates or partially in my mom's basement, partially in like probably somewhere in the barn right now.
They're all in the barn right now.
And none of them are labeled outwardly, and they're not the same style of notebook because I've been doing it since I was like 7. So I don't know what order they go in. I'd have to go back through all of them and figure it out. And I wouldn't even know if one was missing, to be honest with you.
Hey, you want to do a fun hang with me sometime soon?
And organize them?
Well, I had an idea that something I wanted to do for myself is maybe you could do that and I could do my thing and we could do it at the same time.
Okay.
But I wanted to go through every one of my journals and make like a table of contents for each one of them.
Oh, that's cool.
So like just read it, you know, which would take like 30 minutes because they're not, you know, they're journals. You can read them fast. And just figure... No, I'm saying it's not like reading a fucking book.
Yes, it is.
Not to me.
Oh my god, when I look through my old journals, I'm like, I spend hours.
I could read one of my journals in like an hour.
You don't dwell and ponder?
No. I mean, sure, yeah, but whatever. This is neither here nor there. But I was just saying, like, it'd be cool because every time there's so many times where I'm thinking about something I wrote in a journal or a sketch or a passage that I'm trying to remember that I will literally never be able to find again.
That's true.
Because there's just, like, what the fuck am I going to... Like, I don't know if I'm thinking about something from 2017 or something from earlier this year.
There's also events that occurred in my life that I really want to know what I thought of at the time. Like, the reason that I journal... It's really hard because I try to focus on my emotions at the time. Like, the way that I write it out is just like I was talking to a friend about it. So it's like I just do random debriefs with my journal every, like, couple of weeks or something. But it's usually when I'm experiencing high emotion or I'm trying to work through something that happened and decide if I was in the right or something, or, like, if I'm angry or something like that. So they're really helpful for me for kind of benchmarking different experiences that I've had. And... like, sometimes I look back on things and I think about, like, an argument that I had with a friend when I was, like, 18 or something. Or, like, I had this experience within my family and I want to know if I wrote about that. But I don't know what journal it's in because I don't know... Even if I knew what year it was, I'd have to leaf through all of them. And I don't know... I don't write consistently enough that I would notice if there was a journal that spanned, like, 6 months in the middle of 2016 if I just didn't have that anymore. Like, if it was in a different place. Like, there's no continuity. So something that I've always wanted to do is, and it would take fucking forever, who knows if I'll ever do this, but I wanted to transcribe them all so it could be a searchable document that I could add to if I wanted to and edit.
I tried that one time and it was so fucking difficult. The thing that makes me so stressed out about that is that my journals are also kind of pictorial, where it's not just writing or a drawing, it's both, all in the same pages. I'm writing and drawing on the same pages.
In terms of looking at
I don't know how to I don't know how to handle that.
You could document it, because what you could do if you were going to make just like a manuscript basically of them is have an image file with, or a folder even with numbers associated, and just have in text like image number blah 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 next to where it would be in the text.
Yeah.
Like a textbook. and then maybe later on paste the images into the document where they would go.
Yeah, or yeah. You know
Or
what
scan the whole thing.
You know what? Maybe we just have to wait a few years for this type of thing to exist. Or maybe it exists right now, but you can photograph written word, and there's like computers that can detect written word in pictures and transcribe it right there.
Yeah.
So theoretically, if you had the right software, you could even scan or photograph all of your journals, and in the right, I don't know if there's, it would literally be so fucking sick if there was some kind of word processor that could import photos and have the metadata of like the text in the image in like coded into the picture, so that you could search a database of pictures for text.
I bet that does exist.
Like, what about for like a digital graphic novel?
Yeah.
Right? Like, don't you think if there's some like, people with fucking Kindles that are looking at graphic novels, that's gotta like,
Yeah.
they have to have something like that going on, right? If people even use Kindles anymore, I don't even know.
Yeah, is it just an iPad now?
That's got to exist though, right? That type of
Definitely.
that type of technology.
I think I've seen that technology in use, but who knows whether or not it would be affordable or accessible to people like us.
But dude, when that exists, I'm gonna use the shit out of it, my friend. I'm gonna fucking I think that it probably will, because that makes, I don't know, because think about how many records from the 20th century and beyond are written. Or like think about like how impactful that would be for like a dentist office with a giant fucking wall of records. If they could somehow just easily, without any typing, just fucking scan all that shit in, and then it just knows what's written down.
Yeah.
Based on just some fucking kind of shit. Like I guarantee that'll exist at some point. Anyway, I might kind of off track here. So, only a minute or two until we're back home. I just want to say, so the thing that makes me feel a little bit awkward or a little bit on my toes, keeps me on my toes when we review things, is that there's the possibility that a person or professional associated with the production of the event will listen to it and look at it. Because that's their job a lot of the times. So I just want to say to the people responsible for that event, it was fucking awesome.
Phenomenal job.
And if anyone's listening and there's time for you to go buy a ticket and see it for yourself, I highly advise you do that.
Yeah.
These people clearly put an unbelievable amount of money into that and an unbelievable amount of work into that. And it seems well worth it. Usually, I feel like privatized ticketed art events, a lot of people seem to shy away from those because they don't want to pay and because they think it's going to be like hokey or stupid or a waste of money. But that was dope. Like, I don't know. That's like, the type of thing I'm talking about where you're like, I'm not going to pay. Fuck that.
Yeah. Like
kind of deal. This wasn't one of those, I think. This was worth it. Yeah. So, congratulations to the wonderful people who created that event. Thank you, Mount Auburn Cemetery. And I hope that I didn't sound stupid. And I hope I didn't offend anybody or anything.
I hope that all of our jokes recording came out.
I guarantee it did. I doubt there's going to be any lost footage or whatever. Anyway, yeah, do you have any closing statements?
I didn't expect to feel the way that I feel right now after doing that, and I'm very happy about it. I think that it was much more of a meditative experience than I expected, and I kind of feel like I came away with something that I didn't know I would come away with. Like, I think that was a positive thing. Like, there's something positive that I carried out of that. In terms of outlook, maybe.
Yeah. Perhaps there's more we could explore in terms of interviews and content and such with the good people of Mount Auburn Cemetery.
That'd be a very fun thing to look into.
Because it seems like they have a robust staff of people keeping that place in shape and doing all the complex background work. And they teamed up with a great events company or whatever. So there's definitely a lot fucking going on there in terms of their people. So probably some cool people to talk to potentially.
Yeah.
Anyway. Well, should we leave it there?
Yeah.
All right. I'm so tired right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'm like starving, thirsty, and tired. Anyway.
Sounds like a good place to wrap up.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for listening. Shout out to our homies, our longtime listeners. We love you. Shout out to Mount Auburn. Peace.
Boston Art Podcast is an independent DIY production by Brian Huntress and Theodora Earthworms. The information contained in this episode represents the views and opinions of the original creators or our guests, and does not represent any institution, organization, or business. Find us on Instagram at Boston Art Podcast, and tune in for a new episode every Friday. Thank you for listening.